Hello everyone, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. Hope you're doing well today. The topic today is retirement and the trends that we are seeing in the next 10, 20 years that are going to impact us as we retire. Now, the whole concept of retirement is under investigation and redefinition all the time, but there are some trends I think that are coming to the forefront that I think will be valuable for you to think about how you're going to live and experience your world in these times. The first thing, of course, is delayed retirement. A lot of people, are certainly around the world now, trends are becoming that you're retiring at 62, 64, and then it's eventually probably going to be retiring at ages 68 or even 70, because we're living longer, we're more educated, we're more important, we've got skills that are needed. And so there's going to be this combination of a desire by us to want to stay relevant and engaged and, having fun and experiencing the world with money, with an income, and the trend that there's going to be an aging workforce, that there's going to be a shortage of people with skills, and we will have opportunities to continue to work past 64, 65 with no problem. Well, not even no problem, but that will be our desire, that there will be a delayed retirement. I think that's the trend. How it looks and how it takes shape, I think, is going to evolve over the next few years. So that's something to think about and be ready for, that you may be working a little longer than you thought, and that might be okay with you. The next thing is technology and advancements. Okay, so we have got so much going on with technology in 2023 already. My head is spinning. There's just so much going on with artificial intelligence, with applications that are really assisting the creative process, enhancing it, making it more possible to do things, sitting at your desk and having a creative idea and getting the help of a search engine that can help you articulate in deeper and more detail and dig in and explore the capability of technology. These advancements are going to make it easier for us to, number one, do fun things and to be exploring our lives in quote retirement if we do retire, but also to connect with each other. I mean, whether or not you agree with artificial intelligence or the metaverse or any of these new concepts that are being talked about right now, they're coming. They're coming. And we have got to make some decisions, of course, at different levels, where how much is going to be regulated, how much is going to be controlled, there are just incredible things that are happening that I personally feel are going to be assets. But ways to improve our connection with others, or also our own mental and physical and emotional well-being. These apps that are available now online, like the ones that help you to sleep, the ones that give you assistance with a chronic illness, for example. I think many of you know I have blood pressure issues. And so when I recently made some investigations, I found that there are an incredible number of apps online that they're not telling you how to do anything. It's not medical advice. It's just foods that you can eat, things you can try. And, a little message comes up and says, take your meds. Like you can do things just to be healthier and happier with that technology. And I'd be really curious to know what you think about this. I mean, I don't want to get into a long political debate about artificial intelligence or about, the technology, good or bad. But are you using things now on your phone or on your computer that you didn't think were available before? Do you see it as a good thing? I mean, are you taking advantage of some of this trend in technology being more advanced? Personally, I mean, I've worked in technology all my life, so I'm pretty excited about it because I think it's going to bring good things to the world. And that as much as people are empowered and informed and able to talk, the better. I talk too much and my voice goes, ah. So the third thing that's happening in retirement world is this whole thing of the gig economy. The gig economy is characterized by short-term or freelance work that, it's becoming increasingly popular. People are doing gigs and they're making money. Even if you have retired completely from your job and you're not going to do any, sort of real quotes work, for another employer, you are able to do things on your own. You can open an Etsy shop. I opened an Etsy shop because I had a document I put together called a legacy planner. And it's a planner where you can basically a checklist of questions that you can answer and leave for your family to read, or you can, use it as a conversation starter with others. And it's been so much fun. I've met so many fun people, who have looked at it and bought it and had fun with it. But the idea that there's so much opportunity in the gig economy, as it's called, where it's a gig. It's not, you're not reporting in for check-ins or punching a time clock anymore. You're kind of out there doing your own thing that you love, and you're making some money from it. And this trend, of course, is driven by a couple of things in retirement. One is to make some money. The other is to have flexibility. If you decide you want to go on a cruise for 3 months or 3 days or 2 days or whatever, you can go, and you don't have to, everything's on your own terms. And also it's fun. I mean, it's really fun to be able to work from home, do your things at your own pace, in your pajamas, or at a coffee shop or wherever. But it's mostly to continue working on your own terms. I like this idea. And in a way, I guess 60andMe for me is a bit of a gig deal, because it's actually, I'm not working for anyone particularly. I'm actually working for you, for the community, and I'm enjoying it so much. But it's, it's more of a passion for me. I used to work in corporate America, where I had, quarterly reviews, and was graded and scored and criticized and rewarded, and, just that's constant stress of having to go to meetings and travel. Now I do things on my own terms, and maybe you do too. And this is an opportunity, right? If you've got a business right now, a blog, a business, a shop, anything that you'd like to promote, do it right now. Let's just do it. Put it in the comment section below. Normally we don't encourage that, and self-promotion is difficult because it can clog up the comments for sure. But I'd love to know, what are you doing? If you're doing a gig economy deal, what is it? And tell us more about it. Tell us why you started it, how you started it. Give someone else some encouragement. The fourth thing is, I mentioned it earlier, but it's the aging of the population. And the global population is aging and living longer. I'm looking at, there were some statistics about the number of people that are going to be over 50 in a few years. I don't know the year, I'm sorry, but it's something like outnumber the people under 20. We're growing. This demographic of over 50 is growing. And governments, employers are going to have to adapt to this population by providing with more, just more things. I mean, even access to healthcare, financial services, extended ability to invest and help with transitioning into maybe a part-time or a consultancy job. I always thought that when I was at Microsoft, that would have been a perfect thing for Microsoft to do, is to have, maybe they do have that now, like some kind of an HR kind of person that can help you to transition, not because you're losing your job necessarily, but because you are wanting to, go into something that's different and new, and you're on your terms. So that's the next thing. But the final thing is changes in societal and cultural attitudes. And this is where there's a growing recognition that older adults have got much, much more to offer than we ever were giving credit for. That we are relevant, that we are not invisible, and we are important members of this society. We can contribute. We have a lot to reflect. We have a lot to contribute to society, and the whole cultural awareness about aging, pushing back on some of the stereotypes, making sure that people understand that those stereotypes were from before. That was another time. Retirement in the olden days was a different thing. It is now. Retirement now is a time of vitality and learning and sharing and mentoring and growing. It's a time when we are growing strong and making an impact in the world. So that's the fifth trend I think that you're going to see, is this cultural shift, this change in societal and cultural attitudes. Stereotypes of adults, as sort of working 50 years, retiring, sitting on the porch knitting or whatever. I mean, I shouldn't generalize. Knitting is totally cool. But, or going, into a retirement home and just sort of sitting there and waiting. That's just not happening anymore. That's just not the way it is. And so these 5 trends, I think, are really going to shape the future of retirement. And if I'm probably missing some as well, but these are the big trends that I can see. And I hope that that's been an inspiration to you. I hope you've listened to this and felt like, there's 10, 20, 30 years ahead of me where my retirement doesn't have to be about shutting the door and just walking away into the sunset. You actually can be now reinventing yourself and helping these trends to come into being, to actually, actualize and manifest these things. So I hope this has been useful. If you enjoyed it, please give the article or video a like so that our friends at YouTube will share it around with others. And also, if you haven't not aware, we have a Patreon supporters group that we'd love to invite you to join. This is for women that want to kind of work in a smaller group and get together talking about this kind of stuff. It's really, really important. But at the minimum, just enjoy your day wherever you are. Know that you're loved and respected by us at 60andMe, and that we really do thank you so much for your support and for being here. Take really good care, everybody. Lots and lots of love.